Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. This is SF1 Simulation Formula One GP1 here at the Belgian Grand Prix in Q3, final session of qualifying. As you guys can see, there is a bit of light rain on this track. These drivers are going to have to contend with this also in the race. As we do know from some of the drivers in the chat, these guys will have dry race for about 20 minutes, and then the rain is going to kick in. So it's going to be kind of a cut and copy paste, as you would have saw in the GP2 race on Friday evening. If you haven't seen it, I implore you to go check it out. But here we are in Q3, just taking a look at who might be the first one out. A couple of these guys are swapping positions back and forth. Looks like Tomo is out. There is a Williams right in the thick of it. We have third dinner, but the brand new driver this evening, Ego Sparks, in that Williams team, here to fill out in that seat for the rest of the season. Looking through now, it still looks like Tomo is going to be the first. So good job by the Toro team, both of them, to get themselves in to Q3, both Absolute and Tomo. I am, as you can tell, by myself this evening in the comms booth, so we're going to make sure that I get you the best kind of commentary I can through myself. Just taking a look. Drop range detected 2 minutes. All right. Gonna get rid of that as well. Making sure that everything's running through very quick or cleanly. Tomo is going to be the first one to set his benchmark lap. Rain dance for Stig, yes, indeed. But Tomo is going to be the first one to set his benchmark lap in Q3. He did invalidate his out lap, but that is okay. You could do so, however, you just have to be careful that you don't invalidate your out lap and your next lap around. But Tomo coming up to the line now to start his first flyer of this evening in Q3. Looking quite clean. Oh, locks up the tires just a bit, as these conditions will allow you to do so a little bit more. But up the hill he's going to go. Let's take a look. Let's actually ride on board with Tomo as he attacks this track. Up El Rouge and down the Camel Straight on his benchmark lap. What time? I was thinking some of these guys were running at 43, 44 in the dry condition in Q1. Q2 was really interesting. Some of these guys ended up going out as quickly as they could as the rain started to fall right at the beginning of Q2. So some of the guys were able to sneak through on a dry compound. But these guys now have to contest with a full wet session. Doesn't look like it's raining anymore though. So they might be able to hold out as much as they can and try to give it another go towards the end of the session. The track might dry out towards the end of this session. We will find out. Right now, let's see if Tomo can get himself in a competitive lap. He did set the fastest lap in Q2 right before the rain really came down and started to affect the driver, so he might be keen for these kind of conditions. Only time will tell as we'll load up to the race. These guys will have about 20 minutes of a dry race, and then they will have themselves a nice little bit of rain to contest with. Can Tomo get a solid lap in and hold on to that pole position? His teammate is right behind him, not too far off, trying to catch that toe. They might be using a toe in just a bit. No, Absolute is pushing as well. Just taking a look through. So there we have it. Tomo sets the fast lap at a 55.3. Where is his teammate going to fill? 156.6. Dinner goes 58.1. Who might be? We have actually a lot of cars coming up now to the line. I think it's going to be Harrison's crosses with 55.3 as well. I don't know, 55 or 56.4. My apologies. Schoof goes 55.9. Where are the rest of them? We do have Lucky coming up to the line. Crosses with a 56.8. And I'm getting a lot of indication of frame rates. I'm just going to dig into this real quick, if you guys don't mind. I'm going to see. But let's look down through. Ego Sparks, yet to set a lap. Dinner. So a couple of these guys have pulled into the pits. Some of them are going to go for their in lap. It looks like Dinner is pushing though for another lap, so we're going to stick on board with Dinner. See if he can improve on his 158.1. Take a look to see if this is healthy as well. Can Dinner improve on his 158.1? He is pushing for another lap. He's riding in overtake mode right now. Going around the last few corners. Can he improve? He does. He goes to 156.4. Looks like Sparks is now out on another lap. On an out lap, gearing up to start his full lap. Sorry, man. I'm just taking a look at a couple of things right now. Yes. Drop frame rate detected. If I have to, I'll give this a little nice reboot. That looks fine to me. Alright. So, on to the action. Let's see if Ego Sparks can get himself into a solid lap this evening. Had yet to set a lap as well as Raisin. Raisin's sitting in the pits. Wonder if he's going to give it a final go, and maybe he's trying to wait out the weather. As you guys can see, the rain has stopped, so these guys might possibly have a dry track to set a lap in the next couple minutes. We shall see. They have 4 minutes and 14 seconds remaining of this session. We're going to ride on board with Ego Sparks as he goes for his flyer on the intermediate compound. I do see a bit of dry weather in that sky. A couple of the clouds are starting to clear just a bit. A little bit of spray coming from those wheels still. But up El Rouge and just barely lifting. DRS is not yet active for these drivers, so they have to do it with managing the ERS and the that's it, and the fuel, that is. Where is EJ Sparks gonna fill? Holding onto the car as best as he can. The sky is starting to open up just a bit, so he might just barely have enough time to get himself into a solid lap. Around the hairpin. Pretty much my favorite part of this track is starting to come up. Tricky sector. You can get it wrong if you attack the curves just a little wrong. Easy does it on the throttle, gear down so you can get the traction and the turn in. Careful not to touch that left side curb, as that is pretty much a death curb. You touch it, you're probably going to spin out. As well as this curb on the left if you're riding a lower ride height. Here we go, a couple more corners. And then the back stretch to contend with. Easy not to catch that curve right there. Yellow sector, it looks like we have a Red Bull off. That'd be Shoof. Shoof has spun it into the wall or has made contact with the wall. EJ or Ego Sparks, hard on the brakes, is gonna fill up here. And he's going to cross the line with a 55.5, puts him third right now. The Seuss, the first man to move to the dry compound, as well as Dinner. Dinner is going to wait just a little bit longer. Is he going to give it a go? The man that we should watch for is Seuss. Can he get a good lap in on those dry compounds? Is he going to capture that pole position doing the strategy call? Is the track ready for the dry compound? Only time will tell. Is we have right ahead of him. Is that is third Dinner? So the 2 guys on the soft compound playing it out with each other. Wondering who's going to let who through. Looks like Dinner is going to allow Lassus to go through. And they're both going to cut the corner quite a bit. They're trying to get back to the line as quickly as possible. Try to get their lap in on these dry compounds. Is it enough? That Mercedes behind him, Lucky's car, still running on the intermediates, brand new intermediates for that matter. It looks like his car is smoking a ton. Not sure what that would be from. There we have it. Alright, so Lassus. Oh, what is that? He goes. I think he's crashed. Or he's moved out of the way, but that's a weird way to move. It looks like Enzo right now, sitting at the top. I missed that. My apologies. With a 154.8, is gonna hold on. He's working with his teammate Raisin. Is Raisin gonna give him a go here for the pole position? Ken Raisin, he's on an out lap. He's gonna give it a go now. He's gonna have just about 14 seconds as he crosses the line to start his flyer, his one and only one. How about Lassus? Lassus is just barely gonna have enough time to get across the line. 6 seconds remain, as well as Dinner just behind him. They have Lucky ahead of them to contest with, but it looks like Harrison's gone for the intermediate, the safe call. This might come down to Lassus and Dinner, so we're gonna keep on board with. Actually, we're gonna ride with Dinner. So he has Lassus just ahead of him. DRS is enabled, so it is definitely dry conditions. These two might have made the best strategy call they could have made pretty much all season in qualifying. And get rid of this. This is driving me nuts. These notifications. So Ego finishes his qualifying in P3 for the time being. The time to beat is Enzo's with a 154.8. Can these guys do it? There's a Mercedes going out wide. I think I was Lucky moving out of the way. Gonna take a look at this too. Dinner following Lassus. Are they gonna be up on their time? Let's take a look as they come into the end of Sector 2. Are they up on that time? They are. Third Dinner's up 3:10, so I wonder how much Lassus is up. I think these two are the guys to watch. Look at the Third Dinner riding right behind Lassus. All right, here we go. Right, final corner, right on each other's gearbox, and they're gonna cross the line. I think it's gonna be a 1-2. Oh no, it's not. It's only 5th and 6th. So somewhere on that track, it wasn't quite ready yet for the dry compound. So Enzo and his teammate in the McLaren take the 1-2. Tomo in 3rd for that Toro Rosso. Sparks in 4th. Dinner in 5th. So really job well done for the Williams team this evening. Lassus 6th. Schuth has gone off at P7 with a 155. Harrison P8. Absolute P9. And Lucky P10. So 2 Mercedes, 2 Toro Rossos, 2 McLarens. This is going to be quite an interesting race indeed. Once we load up, ladies and gentlemen, we'll give you guys the rundown of the championship points as they stand on this 8th round of our short season. There you guys have it. Running down one final time. Enzo in P1. His teammate P2. Tomo round out the top 3. Ego Sparks is in 4th. Dinner 5th. Lassus 6th. Schuth is in 7th. Harrison 8th. Absolute 9th. And Lucky rounds out the top 10 for this race. It is going to be pretty action-packed, so get yourself stuck in, ladies and gentlemen. We're going to have a good, solid race. Remember, dry race for 20 minutes, and then they will see that rain return. who is going to play with the setup and give themselves a better go at the wet or the dry. These drivers will have a 5-minute complimentary break when we load up so they can get up, stretch, and do what they must. There you have it. The sun is shining. We're going to give you guys a look at the combined constructors points first. The combined is, as I always mention, GP2's and GP1's points as a team combined for a nice little teammate push for each other so they can cheer on their teammates in the lower categories or the higher categories. But Toro is sitting first. McLaren is in P2. Ferrari third. Red Bull slipped and Mercedes slipped just a bit last week. Williams in 6th, Renault is in 7th, Racing Point 8th, Alpha 9th, and Haas looking to make a couple points up. I don't think a Haas made it this evening, though. There was one. Croce has made it, so Croce's looking to take a little bit of his battle with those points to get further up. But the moment everybody wants to see the GP1 Drivers' Championship points, Harrison continues to lead this race, or not this race, this season after last week's solid P2 finish. He is sitting P1 in the championship. His rivals right behind him, those two McLarens on first and second on this race, starting this race, that is, Raisin Enzo. Falling down the order, we have Tomo, Hamp, we have Benny, who was unable to make it this evening. SF1 Tom is going to reserve for him. Anton did not make it out for a lap in Q2, so he's going to start this race in P15. Absolutes is 8, not y'all. Shoof in 10th. Following further down, we have Coco, we have Alstig, Third Dinner, Berto Goat, Pepsi, who is now Ego Sparks has taken his full-time seat, so that should change next week. Attic, P16. Wu in 17th, Croce 18th, Exia 19th, who Hobbs is reserving for this evening, and K Badman rounding out your 20 drivers. I will leave that up for you, ladies and gentlemen, while we wait to go. Should be just about time. We have 30 on the mark, so it should be around 33 or 34. I think we should give it a go. But hang on tight, and we'll be right with you. Looks like we are about ready to go, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back. This is going to go. Let's hope this goes according to plan. 17 drivers are entering this Belgian Grand Prix this evening. A little bit of rain is going to contest them around 20 minutes time. We'll see how quickly that shows up. Nevertheless, we're going to line up for the formation lap of this race. It is going to be one heck of a race indeed. Everybody slightly pulling away. I'm going to get rid of that mini map just so I can look through so everybody can see what all they can see. Let's get the tire compounds up as well. So a lot of guys from P11 the whole way down to P17 on the medium compounds. A couple of guys at the beginning, End Zone Racing, get through in Q2, as well as Zeus on the medium compounds. So they'll be the ones to watch, probably staying out until the rain hits. This track usually is a one-stop go from a soft compound or a medium compound to the other, whether it be a soft or a medium. Usually do not want to touch the hards on this track as they lose about 2.5 to 3 seconds of pace. Looks like everybody's on their way out though. Enzo warming those tires, as well as Raisin. Tomo is going to be the one to watch starting on those soft compounds. Can he take the fight to those McLarens at the top, as well as Ego Sparks and Third Dinner, the two Williams drivers looking to have a good battle this evening, see if they can't get themselves up to a podium position. Seuss right there in P6, Schuf, Harrison, Absolute, Lucky, two McLarens, sandwiching that Toro Rosso. Also Stig right there in P11, SF1 Tom reserving for Attic in that Renault this evening. Hamp P13, Croce, the only remaining Haas right now in this session. P14, Anton, who did not get a lap in Q2 because of the rain, actually caught him out. I believe the rain caught him out. He's going to start this race in P15. A lot to battle for ahead of him. We know he's a quick driver. Can he get through the traffic? Hubdy right behind him in that Alpha. It's 16th, and Boom 17th. This is probably one of the longest, I would say, formation laps you can have on the calendar, but these guys are warming their tires, doing what they need to do. Riding on board, a couple of guys definitely warming those tires as Enzo and Raisin slow up to let the pack catch them. We're gonna ride with these guys. You can see everybody slowing down to ride or to warm those tires. So Enzo pulls up to the line. Raisin's going to follow their two teammates. Let's see how much those two might contest with each other in a battle for the victory. Tomo right there. Let's jump down and see. Boom kicks up the rest of the formation grid. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. We're waiting for those 5 red lights. Please give me a better camera angle. There we have it. Waiting for the 5 red lights at the Belgian Grand Prix. 5 are lit, and we should be away. We are away for the Grand Prix. Let's see if the two McLarens get a good start. Tomo's thinking about making a really lightning start. He's going to pull out to the front and the lead of this race. Two Williams right there battling, picking up right behind. Everybody makes it through cleanly through turn 1. That is awesome to see. As you've seen in actual Formula 1, that turn 1 can be deadly. Couple guys battling up. El Rouge is going to side by side with the Toro and with Mercedes. There is a Ferrari thinking about it. Ooh, that was close. Everybody jostling for positions now. Down the Camel Straight. There's 3 wide going into that turn. Oh, there's a Williams. Side by side, there's big impact. Hopefully, I don't think that was anything for a virtual safety car or a safety car. Everybody's still jostling for positions. We have Stig right there, battling that pass of Croce. Croce going around that Williams. I think that Williams is suffering from a Just taking a look, it looks like, sorry about that, it looks like we got disconnected for just a second, but we're still here. Hubdy, also Stig in 14th, must have lost out at some point. Enzo leading this race. Tomo is thinking about making a move here soon on Raisin. Can he get that job done? At Croce's retired. Is that going to call for a safety car? Sector 3 yellow. Everybody has passed. Virtual safety car. So these drivers will have to slow down and take it a bit. Keep on that delta. So Enzo still leading this race, lap 3. Seuss right there. The two Ferraris have made their way up significantly. They have Tomo right ahead of them. Ego's right behind them. Shoot right there. A lot of these guys still relatively close. Harrison in P15. Something must have happened. It must have been Dinner and Harrison. Or, yeah, Dinner and Harrison who've collected each other in that incident. Dinner is going to get a new front wing and select another set of soft compounds. Hopefully to take him to the end of this race where the rain will hit. Virtual safety car has ended. We are back to racing. Couple guys really close. Can Anton get around his teammate Lassus? Both similar on pace. It looks like the clouds are starting to show up just a bit. Lassus has a better run through that turn. Tomo still following Racing, starting to lose just a bit time. I think the softs are starting to go off a little bit more than those medium compounds. Go right there. Can he catch himself back up to Anton? Jostling for a position could be Hamp and Woom here anytime soon. Hamp is looking to make a run on Woom. There's another close battle. I see Racing's catching his teammate as well. Can Hamp make a move on Woo here? He's going to think about it. He's going to go to the inside. Around the hairpin. Woo runs him just a bit wide. A bit of a touch there. Sends Woo a little bit wide. Croce has left the session. Can't understand why. Unfortunate for Croce. That's going to get Tom a run on Woo. DRS is now available for these drivers. Hubdy is starting to catch both of these guys as well. Let's jump on board with Hubdy and ride with him as he follows Tom and Woo going up El Rouge. This is going to be... Hubdy holds onto the car and loses out the back end just a bit. His teammate Stig just behind him. Ego has fallen down to P7. I wonder if Shuf had a good run on him. Woo and Hamp going back at it. These guys are putting their shoulders out this evening. SF1 Tom sitting in a prime position, P12. If anything, it would happen ahead of him. Harrison has already caught these guys. He's gotten around also Stig. I'm going to take a look at the battle for the lead as Raisin has caught his teammate. These guys slowly checking out. As you can see, Tomo in the distance is starting to lose a bit of time. Lucky gets a 3-second time penalty. Our first penalty of the day. This track will catch you out if you're not careful enough. All the viewers, thank you so much for tuning in. Rain is inbound in probably about 15 minutes time. I'm going to guess around lap 14 we should see rain. So these guys are on the dry setup. If they are on a dry setup, really need to attack now and make these mediums stick. I have a feeling a lot of the guys that are on the medium compounds are trying to make this into a one-stop, so if the rain does hit, they can move to a one-stop. Something has happened to Hamp. Hamp is off. Hamp is off the track and on into the grass. Wonder if there was contact made there. So he is now dropped to P15. I don't think he has any wing damage. He doesn't, so he can continue. He's on the medium compound, so there's time to be made. Oh, but here we have it. Raisin has caught his teammate Enzo. Are they going to make for a look? Hubdy, something has happened to Hubdy. Here goes Enzo racing for the lead. Enzo's going to tuck in behind him. Anton has gotten around Tomo. Jesus now riding behind Tomo is going to try to collect and get around him. He wants to hang on to the back of Anton as best as he can. Heavy lockup from Tomo is going to see him get, attacked again by Jesus. Can Jesus get around him? There's so many different types of setups you can do for this track as Hamp gets himself a 3-second time penalty. Sparks now trying to hold on to the back of Shoof, that Red Bull. That is pretty much the closest battle right now. These guys, Jesus right behind Tomo. I'm going to stick with these guys. Enzo and Racing still staying close ties or with each other. And Jesus had a good run on Tomo. I believe Tomo's tires are going to start to feel that pressure of Dig anytime soon. Jesus has a good run on Tomo. I think Tomo's going to hold to the inside. Side by side they go. A little bit of wheel touch. Is it a clean move? Jesus gets a good run, but Tomo gets a better run, so he's going to hold on. Jesus does have DRS, though, so they're going to probably go side by side into this turn. To this hairpin into turn 1. Tomo is going to hold behind. He's going to inch it up, though. He's going to hold behind just to let him know he's still there. He's going to run behind him. Let's jump on board with Tomo as we're going to go up this famous hill. He's going to have DRS on Jesus. Jesus gets a bit out of shape. Shoof gets a 3-second time penalty. Tomo has DRS now. You can see Shoof Red Bull in the background, catching him ever so slightly. I think Tomo is running a bit of a wet hybrid setup. Glitter in the chat's hoping the McLaren had a horrible this afternoon. Jesus grabs a lot of that gravel and dirt. Tomo locks up again, heavily on the front right. He does have Shoof now just behind him. Sparks is not too far off as well. Some of these guys on these soft compounds, you can really starting to bleed a bit of that pace. I think the softs are possibly going off. Depends on how you run your setup. Benny's looking at SF1 Tom to hope he gets a good finish this evening. He is running P11 right now, Benny, so he's not doing too bad. He's ahead of Harrison as well. Harrison's got to collect them. A couple guys are actually, Tom is bidding out right now as Hamp gets around Hub D there. Absolute gets himself a 3-second time penalty. I'm keeping an eye on the Delta. Anton has now caught the back of Enzo. This should be a good battle. Will Enzo get bulled by Anton here? All three drivers gonna fight for the lead, it looks like. Lap 7 of 22. You can see the clouds have moved in. Anytime this rain could hit. It's right on board with Anton as we go up the hill. You can see Enzo holding onto the back of raising the two McLaren teammates. So McLaren versus Ferrari. Anton has DRS. How far is Jesus? Jesus is 3.3 seconds back. Tomo is just behind him too. Is Tomo gonna get a good run? No, he has enough, but once they get to that DRS range, it just seems like Jesus is running less downforce. As Jesus gets a 3-second time penalty. Shoof now on the back of Tomo. Looks like Lucky and Wu have had contact at some point. That's allowed Harrison to get through, and it's allowed Alsustig to get through. I wonder what happened there. Wu has retired from the session. He's not gonna finish this race. I think he has had it. So sector 2 yellow. Wu has left the session. You can understand why. Hopefully that does not bring out a safety car. Only yellow flags as of right now. Here's Dinner. He should surpass. He does. So back to these guys fighting for the lead. Actually, Shoof now right behind Tomo as well. But Anton pushing to get around Enzo for P2. Maybe have an attack at Racing anytime soon. Can Anton get a good run out of this hairpin turn 1? down this long straight. It seems Shoof and Tomo are making a bit of a move on each other. And Anton going up the hill. I believe I see Rain. Rain has hit. So how long will these drivers have until the rain covers this track and then have to move to the inters? Anton's going to go for an outside move. They're catching racing like crazy. Oh, there's a bit of contact, I believe, between Enzo and Anton. That was close. But Shoof now battling Tomo. Lucky has pulled into the pits. Is he going to make the first call? Tom gets a 3-second time penalty. The rain is here, though. How long will these drivers have to hold on to these dry compounds? So it seems the rain has hit sooner than I thought it would have. This is pretty much the closest battle. We have Anton trying to reel in Raisin. Oh, Anton got a little out of shape there. The back end stepped out just a bit. Did well to hold onto the back of the car. This is getting pretty intense. I'm just watching this. These guys contesting each other. Oh, that was close. Anton almost collected the back end of Raisin's gearbox. Did really well to move out of the way. Raisin goes wide. Runs in a bit deep. They're going to pull into the pits. Anton pulls to the pits. Is it already intermediates? We shall find out. I believe these guys might move to intermediates. And Sue stays out, as well as Enzo. So the two Ferraris versus the two McLarens this evening. How many guys are staying out? Anton does select the intermediates. A lot of guys are into the pits. It looks like it is that moment. Ant pulls into the pits. Hubdy, will he pull into the pits? Careful does it. It is a tricky entrance to the pit stop. As you can see, third dinner. Lucky has gone to the intermediate, so he might luck out in just a bit here. No pun intended, I apologize. So it's up to these men here. Absolute, Lassus, and Enzo. How long can they hold on to the soft compounds? As you guys can see, a lot of them have moved to the intermediates. DRS is now disabled for these drivers. It is up to their skill level. Sector 1 yellow. What has happened to Tom? Tom is off. Up at the top of the hill. Lucky not to DNF. He has chipped off a lot of his wing after just moving to the intermediate, so he's going to have to pit again. You have Stig just behind him. Is Stig going to make a move on him? Racing now. Hamp has retired from the race. What has happened to Hamp? Oh, Hamp has crashed out at the top of the hill, I think. Let's ride within her so we can see. Where is his car? His car seems to have disappeared. Oh no, his car's right there. That's a weird place to go off the track. Enzo has left the session. He's going to need an invite back. However, I can't do that. Hopefully these guys can jump him in. That might work out for Lassus. Is Raisin holding on to the back of Anton? He is. Tomo and Absolute playing teammates as Tomo's already pitted for the intermediates. Absolute has yet to. Absolute is missing a lot of his front right wing. I'm not sure what happened there. Shoof holding on back of Ego Sparks still. They think these guys are going to have a good battle for the race. Also, Stig makes it past SF1 Tom. Is Hubdy going to do the same? How far back is Hubdy from Tom? He is 8.5 seconds. A couple of guys that did not pit. Enzo has joined. That's good to see him get back in. Hopefully he can take control of his car. So Anton retakes the lead of this race. How well can he hold on to this race as we have Racing just behind him? Tomo now picks up third place position. Enzo is on his way out. Ego not too far off. Harrison gets himself back up to P7. Stig gets through from pitting Absolute. SF1 Tom pulls into the pits as well. So Stig now up to P9. Hubdy's going to make a few positions up as well. Absolute's just on his way out of the pits. Hubdy coming around the hairpin now. Oh, Stig almost got loose out of there. So the two that battled for the GP2 championship last season here on track. Dinner's right there. Lucky's made his way through. SF1 Tom on his way out now. But these two are the ones to watch. Ego is not too far off of Enzo. I wonder if a couple of these guys thought the rain was going to hit a little earlier than expected in the 20 minutes. So these guys went for more of a wet compound race setup. As you can see, Ego is really catching the back of Enzo. Tomo sitting in third, a quiet third right now. But Raisin's still following Anton. Can he get around him? It is really weird seeing that number 14 on a McLaren. For those fans who are a big Fernando Alonso fan. It looks like Raisin might be running a bit of a wet setup here. He seems to be a little more comfortable right now than Anton. Gets a really good run. He's going to hold right behind Anton. Tomo right there in the background. Enzo has left the session. Hopefully he can get himself back in. I think he's having connection issues. Up the hill, can Raisin get a good run here? No DRS to help him pull that toe down. He's getting ever so close. Still 5/10 of the gap. Look at Ego now. He's going to pass Enzo's. Lucky gets a 5-second for corner cutting. Ego is trying to pass the ghosting car of Enzo and should do so just about now. Is Schuf going to do the same? These guys all relatively close. Schuf's going to pass through Enzo's car. He has done so, so now he's made his way up to P5. Harrison is the next, unless Enzo can get himself back into the session. It's a shame for Enzo. Raisin's still holding on to the back of Anton. That rain is hitting. I wonder if these guys are going to see wet compound at any point if that rain continues to fall the way it's falling. Still a bit of a dry line is existent, but if the rain continues or gets heavier, that that dry line is going to disappear. Harrison now on the back of Enzo's car. Harrison gets through that ghosting car of the McLaren. Everybody else is relatively spaced out, except for Schuf, who is catching the back of Ego Sparks. These two still having quite a bit of a battle. Raisin still doing his best to hold on to the back of Anton. Tomo sitting in P3. Sparks now up to P4. Schuf P5. Harrison P6. But we're gonna ride with. Should we stay with these guys? How close are they? I think they're kind of having their own battle. Schuf and Sparks are pretty close as well on track. Everybody else has a bit of a gap between themselves and the car ahead or the car behind. Can Schuf make it happen? Can he get closer to Ego Sparks and make a pass? It's actually right on board. See the kind of conditions these guys are fighting with. There's a little bit of spray, but you can see that the racing line is still a little evident. So the intermediates are definitely going to be the best compound for this condition. As you can see, Sparks gets a better run out of that corner. Easy does it. Sparks goes a bit wide. So does Schuf. I wonder if these guys are riding dry setups. As Lassus has gotten around the ghosting car of Enzo, so now Lassus is up to P7. And you can see Harrison is now catching the back of Schuf. Absolute gets another 3-second time penalty. And Harrison goes really wide. Really, a little close for comfort for that wall that's out. Oh, look at Schuf making a run on Sparks though. Can these guys get a little bit closer? Is that sky lightening up just a bit? I do see clear spots, though. Will this rain lighten up a bit? Will we go back to a dry compound? The Seuss is catching these guys. We might have a four-way battle for P4 in a matter of a lap or two. One of the trickiest tracks, definitely, to manage, especially when the rain has started to fall and you're on a wet compound. As you see, Harrison gets a 3-second time penalty. That might be big towards the end of this race. Penalties might play a factor. Schuf is thinking about making a move on Sparks. Sparks pulls to the inside to protect his line, make the car as wide as possible. It looks like Schuf just backs off and lets him have that corner. Job well done. Very clean racing between those two. As you can tell, these conditions make it a little bit trickier to keep the car centered to the ground, depending on the kind of downforce you're riding. As Harrison's now pulled up right behind these guys. Harrison needs to push now, and he does have that 3-second hanging on him. He's going to have to pretty much pass these guys and build a gap of 3 seconds if Schuf and Sparks do not have a time penalty, as Raisin is now falling 1.2 seconds behind Anton. So this being the closest battle on track, we're going to stick with these guys. Can Harrison make a move? It seems like the rain is lightening up just a bit. I wonder if these drivers can feel it on that car. Sparks seems to have a better sector too, and it can pull away from these guys. But once these guys pull into this long stretch areas, like the Camel Straight and this back stretch, it looks like Schuf and Harrison pull really close to Sparks. As you can see, is Harrison going to think about making a dive? He is. He's going to pinch the car in, but he's going to hold out and back off a bit. He's going to get a bit of run. He's going to do the switchback. I think Schuf was ready for it, though. Side by side, they're going to go into the turn one hairpin. It looks like Schuf picks up that position again. Is Harrison thinking about it? He is. He's going to pinch the car in. A little bit of a touch, but Harrison should make it through. He does. So now Schuf falls to P6, Harrison up to P5. It's now time for Harrison to push to try to get himself back up to Sparks. He's fallen 1.4 seconds behind. Schuf pushing to see if he can get himself closer to Harrison. Still no DRS. Let's actually ride on board with Schuf. Sky is opening up just a bit. I wonder if the rain will lighten up. Schuf trying to hold on to the back of Harrison. Lassus not too far off of these guys in the background. Enzo has gotten himself back into this race. Good to see. So he's going to try to attack. Stig kind of in a quiet 9th place right now. His teammate doing really well in P11. Lucky P12 after that incident. Dinner's in P13. Tom sitting P14. How are things going? Enzo, actually Raisin has really caught Anton now. He's brought that gap right back down. Sector 1 yellow. Tom has retired from the race. It must have been the famous hill. Safety car, ladies and gentlemen. We have a safety car. How many of these guys are going to die for the pits and grab a new intermediate compound? Because these tires do wear quite a bit at this track, I've noticed. I did have a league race here a couple months ago. And the tires, if it's early rain, they go off quickly. It looks like a lot of these guys are going to die for the pits, though. So they're going to probably slap on a new set of intermediates. Tomo's going to die for the pits. Will Ego die for the pits? He does have Harrison right behind him for the guys like Dinner and Lucky. That's going to help them get right back into this race. That's right on board. Both are going to die for the pits. Is Schuf going to die? No, Schuf's going to stay out. Schuf is going to stay out. Where is Anton? Anton and them are coming through now. Schuf. Looks like Anton's going to maintain the lead of this race. Racing right there. Tomo. Schuf is going to get around Tomo. No, Tomo is out, so Tomo maintains 3rd. Schuf now jumps up to P4. Enzo gets himself back in. He is in P5. Sparks is going to come out P6. Harrison's going to come out P7. Stig is pulled in the pits. Lassus pulls into the pits. Absolute pulls into the pits. Hubdy is going to jump into the pits too. Hopefully he doesn't get sandwiched by the pit team. Lucky's into the pits. Dinner, is he going to jump into the pits? Everybody, oh, Stig is going for a wet compound. I didn't notice that, but also Stick has jumped to a wet compound, ladies and gentlemen. Dinner gets a 5-second for speeding into the pit lane. I don't know if this wet compound would be the right call. I think Stig, a couple of guys, Hubdy's gone for the wets, and Lucky has gone for the wets as well. The rain has intensified. So we're going to ride with these guys following the safety car for just a bit. I will be right back momentarily. I have to check on something real quick. But while we ride, we're going to follow these guys in the safety car. I actually have to go get another glass of water. Be right back, ladies and gentlemen. As you guys can see, this rain looks like it's actually picked up quite a bit. We're going to ride on board with Anton, so I think some of these guys who made the call for the wets might, just might, have made a strategic gold call. Only time will tell. As we're riding on board with Anton, what does the spray look like from racing? The racing line is still there, but the puddles are starting to form on this track. This is going to be interesting as a finish, I can tell you that. What is going to happen, ladies and gentlemen? So, 3 drivers to look out for. The 2 Alphas and the 1 Mercedes in the back. What has happened here? Dinner is dove into the pits. Is he going to slap on a wet compound? Lucky has a little bit back. Hubsy's a little bit back as well, so they're going to have to pull up. Let's ride on board with Dinner. See what he switches to. Is he going to get a compound change to the wet compounds? Pulling into the pits now. He is going to go to the wets. He's going to serve a 5-second as well. On his way out now. So it's going to get interesting. A couple of guys have made the switch to a wet compound. A lot of guys staying on the medium compound. Guys in the chat, how many of you guys are looking forward to F1 2020 game? A couple things I've seen. I'm hoping a lot of the online lobby glitches that are evident in this game are dealt with. Hopefully it's not released with too many bugs. But I am definitely looking forward to that. There will be a big announcement if you guys are on the Simulation Formula 1 page. If not, make sure you jump on and add us on Facebook if you are interested in taking part in this. We're going to announce our 2020 details in a little bit from now. But it's definitely going to be interesting. You want to make sure you follow the page. We have a lot of nice things coming around for the 2020 game. It's going to be intense, and it's going to be exciting for everybody that takes part. So everybody is pretty much caught up, except for Dinner. It's back there. Safety car is going to stay out for another lap, it seems. That's going to make this track really tricky to drive. You can see the standing puddles on the track. The racing line is still there. However, it might disappear. As you can see, Anton is getting a little loose for comfort. Guys are trying to keep the temperatures in the tires, so the intermediate's a little different. So if you're on the dry line for too long, these tires will actually heat up, and you want to cool them down. So you run it in some of those standing water to cool them down. That way they don't wear too quickly. A couple guys have made a pit change. It looks like Ego's going to go to the wets as well as Shuf. Shuf's dove for the wets. So some of these guys have made the wet call. Stig is up to P7. The Seuss ahead of him. Stig is the highest guy right now on those wet compounds. So you can see he's running in those puddles around the track to keep the temperature, keep the tires cool. Safety car should be in this time around. As you guys can see, the back end of these cars are pulling up to the formation right now. Can these guys hold on to their positions? They have a couple of guys behind them on those wet compounds. Will those wet compounds come to play? Will these intermediates be the wrong choice? A lot of these guys, Enzo, Tomo, Harrison, have all made the intermediate call. Is that the right call till the end of the race? We are going to find out in a few short corners. They're going to have 5 laps to really push themselves to the end of this race. It looks like Dinner and Lucky are swapping positions. Not sure what for. Wonder if Dinner had an incident or went a little bit wide. Safety car should be in this lap. You should get an indication in a few, just about this corner here. Yeah, that rain is falling heavily. Safety car is in this lap. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go back to green flag racing for a 5-lap shootout in the wet. Who is going to hold on to this lead? As you can see, Anton has the right set pace for this restart. He's going to definitely bunch those guys up. Hopefully everybody keeps it relatively clean. We're going to ride with Tomo on this restart. As you can see, Anton, you really have to wait for that safety car because there's a long way around for that car to pull back into the pits. Oh, look at the bunch of cars. So these guys really backing up the pack. Everybody jostling, getting ready to go back to green flag. It looks like Anton has put the throttle down. Tomo's done the same. A couple of guys keeping it relatively clean. In the final chicane we go to start and go back to green flag racing. Tomo's getting a really good run on it, racing right now. It's going to be an idea sector. How well can these guys hold on to these intermediates? Let's jump on board. As you can see, Tomo gives Raisin just a bit of a tap. Very, very subtly putting the throttle down, waiting for that grip. Also, Stick goes around the Seuss. The Seuss is going to try to hold on, backs out of it. So, Also Stick makes it through. Oh, Also Stick, what has happened? Also Stick's gone off. Oh, Also Stick's out of this race. Also Stick has crashed out at the top of El Rouge into the wall, so he's out of this race. He's made it just about. So Lucky's going to battle through. Look at these guys jostling for position. Lucky goes deep. Hubdy has to back off. I think Lucky he's going to hang on to that position. So Harrison, these guys are going to battle. How much can these guys hold on to this track? Let's jump on board with Lucky, who's highest one now on the wet compound. It looks like the wet compound, once it's up to temperature, should just about be the right compound. As you can see, he's really pulling in Lassus. Is he going to make for a move around Lassus? He's going to hold behind the Ferrari for the meantime. A lot of these guys are super close on the track. Lucky right now battling Lassus. Third Dinner right now looking to go around Hubdy. He's going to hold it into the inside. Hubdy holding on. Hubdy having a really, really good race right now in P8. Unfortunate for his teammate. Let's jump on board. Lucky's going to think about making a move on the Seuss anytime soon. Also Stig has left the session. Unfortunate race for Also Stig. So it looks like Lassus gets a really good run out of that final corner. Can Lucky pull closer? Third Dinner goes for a move around Hubdy. Couple guys looking to make a move to Ego Sparks right there. Shoof is right there. Let's actually ride on board with Ego Sparks. Hubdy's moved out of the way. Shoof, or he's lost the tail end. I can't tell absolutely right now. Let's actually jump on board. As you can see, the two Williams going side by side in turn 1. What has happened? Sparks has gone off. Lucky has now made his way up to P6. Oh, third dinner gets a little... this hangs under the car. Oh, this rain is now hitting heavily. Oh, Tomo's thinking about making a move on Raisin. Can he get around him? He's right behind the McLarens. Or the actual McLaren, not McLarens. There's a Ferrari ahead of him. Tomo trying to get around. Raisin makes his car a little bit wide. Can Tomo get around? Can Harrison get around Enzo? Enzo's got himself back into this race. Up P4. Everybody is sandwiched really close now, trying to hold on to the car as best as they can. Harrison now. Let's jump with Harrison. Is he's going to make for a look? He's just going to hold it behind Enzo for the time being. 19 laps out of 22 laps. Is Harrison going to make for a look? Lucky is catching these guys like crazy, though. I wonder if those wet compounds were the compound to go with, because Ego and Dinner are right there as well, both on the wet compounds. I think these guys are going to have a couple people behind them in a couple of laps. Not even a couple of laps, in a lap's time. Because now, I mean, Lucky's right on the back of his teammate. At this point, I wonder if Harrison, who is leading this championship, might possibly think about letting his teammate go through if Lucky has a little bit more pace on those wet compounds. They're going to have 2 laps left, I think. Actually, it's lap 19. Sector 3, Ego Sparks gets a 10-second for exceeding track limits. So it's lap 20. They have 2 laps left. What is going to happen? Oh, who's that making a dive? Lucky thinks for a dive and hits the wall hard. I think he outbroke himself, so Lucky puts himself into the wall. It's dropped down to P10. Absolute's going to go through, as well as Lassus. Lassus is in the back. Not sure what happened with Lassus. He's going really slow. I'm going to hang on with this for a second. What is going on with Lassus? Is this interesting? Harrison makes it through. Ego Sparks. I'm going to keep an eye on that. Oh, what has happened to Harrison? Harrison's gone off. Harrison's gone off. So the other Mercedes is now off the track. We'll have to keep an eye on that. As Hubsy's making a loose. Sector 2 and 3 yellows. Schoof right now battling third dinner. Sector 3 yellow. It is all kicked off. Can Tomo get around that McLaren of Raisin just ahead of him? Enzo in P4 right now. Rain has lightened up just a bit, so maybe the intermediates were the right call. Keep an eye on what is going on with these guys. Where is Anton? Anton coming out to the backstretch now. Hubdy is retired from the race. What has happened to Hubdy? Hubdy has crashed on hard in the wall. He will, however, be scored as P12. Let's ride through here for the lead of this race. Tomo right there. We're going to jump on board with Tomo. Going down this famous backstretch where they actually used to start the race way back in the day. Up the famous hill, down the Camel Straight. Sector's green for some reason. Sector 1 yellow. The Seuss is just sitting in the corner there. I'm not sure what for. Is he ghosting for some reason? Not sure what he's doing. You can see Schoof in the distance battling third dinner. I'm not quite sure what Lassus is doing. We're going to jump on through. As you can see, Schoof and Dinner are having absolute battle here as Raisin is now caught up to the back of Anton as well. Last penultimate lap, actually, of this race. Can Grayson make a move around Anton? He's going to have one final go at it, this backstretch, and then on to the final lap of this race. Tomo, can he have a say? A couple of the guys on the wets, I wonder if they're starting to bleed a little bit of time, as they do have Absolute starting to catch them. Schuf just behind Dinner. Absolute is putting a lot of pace down on those intermediates, so he might just find himself in the P5 if he can get closer. Actually, P6. So here comes Tomo, final lap of this race, ladies and gentlemen. What can happen? Coming up to the first hairpin, turn 1. All super close. Who's going to get a better run? The rain seems to have stopped. Anybody is game now. Sector 3 yellow. The Seuss has retired from the session. Here we go. Final backstretch. Racing pulls close, but not close enough to make a move around Anton. Tomo's right there in the gearbox of that McLaren. Can he have a good run? Sector 2, 3 yellow. What's happened to Schuf? Schuf seems to be off. I don't know if these drivers are having a bit of contact or if it's just trying to hold on to this car as best as possible, especially for those guys that are on the wets, because you can see Absolute now right on the back of third Dinner. Is he going to make for a move? He is. We're going to stick on board with these guys. Actually, Absolute's going to go for an inside squeeze around third Dinner. He should have the traction as he does have his intermediates. He does make it around. Last couple corners to go. Can Tomo get around? He is running out of time. Racing holding onto the back of that Ferrari Anton. Racing gets a 3-second time penalty, so that might be big towards the end of this race. That might put Tomo up to P2. And so right there, let's go into the final corner. Is anybody going to send it? Racing's backed off. What is he doing? I think he's gone a little wide. I think he's just going to give the position to Tomo on track because he knows he's not going to hold on to it. Here we go. But race winner of the Belgian Grand Prix is going to be Anton. Crosses the line. Tomo P2. Racing P3. Enzo's going to cross the line in P4. Sparks is going to hold on as best as he can because Absolute's going to think about making a move. Last ditch effort. Sparks is going to hold on and cross the line, P5. I think Absolute has 2 penalties on his name. Oh, Absolute goes wide. Absolute does it, though. He goes P5. Dinner goes P5. Absolute P6. Sparks P7. So, job well done from Dinner this evening to get himself in the P5. Schuf is going to cross the line, P8. Will he hold on to P8? Harrison's just behind him. Schuf P7. Harrison P9. Lucky's going to round out the finish of this race, ladies and gentlemen. This is going to cross the line in P10. That was a race. Let you guys enjoy the podium celebration, and then we'll be on for the podium interviews. All right, coming up to, gotta get off this this thing here, but you see it. Your race winner, ladies and gentlemen, VSR Anton picks up the win, followed by Tomo in P2, and Racing round out your podium finishers. Following down the order, we have Enzo P4, Dinner P5, Absolute P6, Sparks P7, Schuf P8, Harrison P9, Lucky P10, and unfortunately, we've lost out Lassus, we've lost out Hubd, Stig, SF1 Tom, Hamp, and blue as well as Croce from this race. But we're going to dive on through and get you guys stuck into this podium interview in just a second. Look at some of these time penalties that are there. The session keeps kicking back and forth. Not sure why. A couple of guys have left, so Raisin has left. I wonder if not sure if we'll have him for a podium interview. But let me get into these podium interviews. Let me find these guys. And okay. Just waiting to see if Anton joins, but we'll start. I don't know if Raisin will join. All right. Going on through though. Tomo, what an interesting race, especially with the rain that hit. And I mean, the top three, you guys, Anton, Raisin, and yourself, had one heck of a battle for those 5 remaining laps after the safety car. When that rain hit, this is the biggest talking point I wanted to ask. When that rain hit and you saw a couple of the guys jump on the wets, were you a little timid about staying on the intermediates? Did you know that the rain was going to kind of cut off towards the end?
Yes, I was terrified the wets were going to be amazing. I was tempted to come in the pits, but I just wanted to do whatever the cars ahead were doing, because that's the safest option. But yeah, I was definitely scared, but managed to just about keep it under control, which is very good.
And the final, I think it was the final lap when Raisin caught that 3 seconds. Did you know that he kind of pulled over and gave you that second position as well on track? Were you a bit surprised?
Yeah, I had no idea. I was literally checking the penalties every lap. And I just thought, okay, that was P3. But then, yeah, I don't know what happened, but he just sort of was 1 minute in front of me and 1 minute behind me. And I was like, I'll take it. And it was P2, which is very nice to see.
That was a solid race this evening. He has joined. Okay, so Tomo, congratulations on your P2. And we're going to move this on to our race winner from P15 on to the race win. Anton, talk me through your qualifying. I don't know if you got stuck out from the rain that hit early or you just couldn't get a lap in, but pretty much to go from qualifying P15 to the race win with that rain, it was a mighty drive from yourself. Is he here? Oh, no, he left. Okay. Well, that settles that. But again, Tom, congratulations on your P2 this evening. For next week, ladies and gentlemen, we are going to move it into the German Grand Prix. Like I said on Friday, I'm so sad to see this track leave the game. It's one of my favorite tracks. But make sure that you guys jump in next Sunday, same time, same channel. To the guys that finished on the podium, Raisin, Tomo again, and Anton, congratulations. I hope that you're lucky.
Sorry.
Oh, he's here. All right. We're gonna
Hello. Yeah, my mic wasn't connected. I don't know why.
All right.
Sorry. Yeah, I heard the question, so I will answer now. Yeah, and quality, that was pretty disappointing because I just hit the wall. You know, just a little kiss into the wall when I went into the pit lane, you know, just before when we put the pit limiter, and then I just hit the wall and my car just went completely you know, like she went off, you know, in the air. So that was pretty strange. And then yeah, I had new tires for the beginning of the race, and at the beginning of the race I just managed to pass some people in front, and then managed to gain some time to Raisin and Enzo at the moment. And then yes, in the rain I was pretty confident with those tires, so I was pretty I don't know how to say that. Anxious, if I can say that, but penalty because I had 2 warnings for the last 5 laps, so it's pretty much easy to take some warnings in the rain here. So and what happened with the Ryzen, he took the final warning and he was just on the white line. He told me that, so that's pretty unfortunate for him. But I take the victory tonight.
Now, congratulations.
And congrats to Tomo for no warning as well.
Solid race from you guys this evening. But ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining in on the race this evening. Next week, like I said earlier, we'll be at the German Grand Prix, one of my favorite tracks.
Yeah.
Indeed. I love that track. But we'll hopefully catch you next week. For the guys in the podium this evening, congratulations. Until then, we will see you next week. Hopefully everybody has a great week. And until then, we are going to sign